Hey everyone, I'm going to do a really quick reading. This was requested from one of my loyal viewers, somebody who, comments quite a bit, sends me, private emails, just to check up on me and see how I'm doing. It's just one of those loyal viewers, you know, um, who asked if I could do this particular reading. So but this reading can be for the collective. It's just something that they asked me to do, and so I'm going to do it. So basically, the way this reading is going to go down is this. It's going to be in the POV of the karmic, okay? The point of view of the karmic. What is the karmic thinking? How is the karmic thinking, feeling on the inside that the karmic is not sharing with anybody else? Okay, it's basically their inner emotions that they do not vocalize to anybody. Is basically their innermost feelings. Okay, whether it be happy, whether it be sad, whether it be whatever. We're just going to look into the headspace of the karmic, all right, and see how they actually feel. Um, that the emotions that they do not vocalize to the counterpart, okay, the divine counterpart. All right, so we're going to go ahead and start. I'm going to pull just a theme here, an overall theme of what the karmic is feeling, okay? I call upon my guides, guardian angels, and ancestors. Spirit, what is the POV of this karmic? What is their innermost secrets that they do not share with anybody or vocalize with anybody? What is their innermost feelings that they keep to themselves? So give me a theme, Spirit, a theme of their overall energy, What is the theme of their overall energy that they keep in silence, Okay, so this particular karmic is really wanting to keep the feelings to themselves, okay? They're not wanting to share. So right off the bat, I can see that, yes, they're not wanting anyone to know. So what do we have? Fragmented. Okay, so overall, we do have fragmented. So, fragmented is about, as you can see, in this picture, you can kind of see an image, a vision, in the dark woods, fragment. So what I feel with this karmic, what the theme I feel is that in terms of the divine counterpart in their connection, in their relationship, they overall they feel like at times this is a fragment of their imagination, okay? not knowing if this connection is real or not. Is it a fragment of their imagination? Is it something that they're just going through the motions in this connection? You know, it's again, it's not understanding on 100% level if this connection is real or not. Okay, not knowing if it is real or not, or if it is a fragment of their imagination. So there's a part of them that feels like, you know, can it be real or is it an illusion? Okay, so that's their overall theme. That's their overall theme with this counterpart. Is it a fragment of their imagination? So there's definitely some doubts. All right, some doubts, some illusions, not knowing if the connection is really what. Not really knowing if it is what they believe it to be. Okay, so, and why is this, Spirit? Why is this? Give me some clarifier for this. Why is it that they feel this could possibly be a fragment of their imagination? All right, so I got 3 cards. I'm going to go ahead and take them. So what do we have here? All right, so we have superficial, we have embarrassment, and we have stagnant. All right, so one of the reasons why this karmic feels like, this connection with this divine counterpart is, a fragment of their imagination is because, number one, there's stagnation in the connection between the karmic and the divine counterpart. Okay, there is stagnation. All right, it's that feeling of, again, being in a connection, but it's not really going anywhere. Okay, and interesting enough, this card, you have some hills in the back, and there's this light and there's this dark, which kind of tells me, again, I feel like the karmic, some days feels like, yes, it could be real. And then, on other days feels like, it's not so real, because there's some darkness. Sometimes there's light and sometimes there's dark. All right. And, there's stagnation, in the connection. There's stagnation. And, this karmic is embarrassed about that. All right, they are embarrassed about that. However, the superficial, ego, kind of convinces them, that we can get through this. I'm feeling, and no matter how stagnant it may get, no matter how much it could be, a fragment of my imagination, my ego is going to convince me that it is real. Okay. And that's not to say that they don't, go back and forth with it, because clearly they do, with the fragment, and with, again, seeing, these hills in the back where there's light and there's darkness. I feel this karmic goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. However, their ego, their superficial ego convinces them that that it is real. And so, they stick with it, even though there is this stagnation. And, the superficial ego in them will not allow them to be embarrassed, okay? Will not allow them to be embarrassed, to admit to themselves that, yeah, this could be a fragment of my imagination, okay? So, and again, this is how they feel on the inside. They do not vocalize this to anybody, okay? They don't tell their friends, they don't tell their families, they do not tell the divine counterpart. This is something that they struggle within themselves. This is one of those suffering in silence, okay? Yeah, they're suffering in silence with these, but their ego prevails, okay? Their ego with this superficial, it prevails and convinces them that they can stick it out, all right? Because they're not going to allow themselves to be embarrassed, all right? No matter how much there is this stagnant energy, they're and look at this. And look, the man, in this picture has ropes around, well, I don't know if it's ropes, but he has something covering his mouth. So again, this karmic is not telling anybody. This is the karmic suffering in silence, okay? Not letting anybody know. This is between the karmic and themselves, between them and themselves. They do not let anybody else know, all right? So, again, the theme is fragmented, that they're fragmented. Parts of them feel like, this could be real, and other parts of them feel like it's just an illusion, again, this could be a ghost, a vision, it's just it's an illusion that they have conjured up in their mind, okay? They've conjured this up in their mind that that it's real, even though on a big part, on a very, very big part, it is a fragment of their imagination. Okay, so let's see. Let's pull some tarot here and see if we can't get a little bit more information on this. So what else can you tell me about this karmic spirit? What else can you tell me about this karmic? What is it that they are not letting anybody know? What is it that they keep between them and themselves that they do not vocalize and let anybody know? How is it that they really feel in this connection with this divine counterpart? The deepest, darkest secrets of their emotions. Let me move this to the side. So the first card that we do have is, wow. So we have stagnation again. We have stagnation here. All right, we have stagnation here, but then we also have it again here with the hangman. But we do have it with judgment, okay? So again, this karmic has made, made a judgment call. They assess. This karmic assesses everything, okay? In between them and themselves, again, that suffering in silence between the karmic and their innermost self, they assess everything. And they basically let their superficial ego prevail. Okay. And so the judgment call that they make is to continue to stay in this connection. All right, to stay in this connection, whether or not it is a fragment of their imagination or not. The judgment call that they are making is to stay, and to wait it out. Now, here's the thing: we have the hangman. It isn't reversed, okay? Okay, so when the hangman is in the upright position, the hangman may be stagnant and whatnot, but at least he is in a position to change his perspective. Okay, this is coming out in the reverse. So what this is telling me is that this karmic is refusing, even though there is this stagnation and there is this this being stalled. They are refusing to see it any other way. They're refusing to change their perspective. Whether or not it's stalled and there's not, I mean, because when there's stagnation in a connection, that means that, there's not a whole lot of movement going on in the connection. All right. So even though this karmic knows that, they refuse to change their perspective. And so they are operating on ego, that superficial card that we seen. They're operating on ego and they're refusing to change their perspective, and they're willing to put up with being stagnant. Okay, and this is the judgment call that they've made. They've made the judgment call to put up with the stagnation regardless. All right, so what else? So we have the Knight of Swords. So, the Knight of Swords is somebody who is hasty, who makes hasty decisions, okay? Makes very, very fast, hasty decisions. So, again, the hasty decision that they're making being next to this hangman is that, put up with it, okay, regardless of whether I mean, it's clear that the connection is not moving forward prosperous. Okay, it's stagnant, but in haste. Okay, in haste, you know they're very quick, because the Knight of Swords is, it is, fast energy, regardless of how bad things may be. The karmic is very fast to make a hasty decision, and the decision is to remain stagnant. Okay, to make that judgment call and to remain stalled. In judgment, the thing about judgment, it's about, making assessments, making a judgment call. And it's also about, it's about assessing everything around you and making a judgment call based on that, okay, for a renew. So the reason why this karmic, makes that hasty decision to stay stalled is because, they feel like, you know, even though it's stagnant, even though the connection is stagnant, they feel like, prevailing in ego and putting up with the stagnation. Well, the karmic feels like, there's still that possibility of a rebirth, and so that's the reason why they make the hasty quick, fast decision to just put up with being stagnant. Okay. What else, Spirit? What else? So we have the Three of Swords. So, this is, again, making hasty decisions because they do not want to get their heart broken, okay? Because this is in the reverse. In the upright position, I mean, this is heartache, this is heartache, this is having your heart pierced and having your heart broken. So it's in reverse. So, this karmic refuses to have their heart broken. So they're willing to put up with, living in an illusion, okay? They're willing to live that way so that they don't have their heart broken, okay? But look, the connection isn't going anywhere, okay? The Chariot in reverse. It's not that, I mean, hello, we have stagnation coming up twice. This connection is not moving forward, okay? It's not moving forward. The Chariot in the upright position is about moving forward confidently in victory, okay? So this is in the in the reverse position. So this is saying that there's no victory here. There's no victory in this connection is not going to move forward in victory. Okay. But again, and it's clearly, stalling, it has the connection in stagnation, but again, this karmic is operating on ego, okay? With that superficial that came out, they are definitely operating on ego. And so, even though I do see this Three of Swords here where they don't want to get their heart broken, I feel like that is a part of it, but it's not the main part. The main part of it is that this karmic is not willing to lose, because we have embarrassed. All right, we have embarrassed and we have superficial. This karmic is more about not wanting. I feel like it would break this karmic's heart more to be embarrassed and to have a wounded ego. Not about love, okay? Not having their heart broken because they even love this divine counterpart. This has to do with ego. This has to do with this karmic being so superficial and refusing to have their heart broken by embarrassment, that they're willing to make the hasty decision to remain stalled and stagnant, okay? So, and this is the judgment call that they've made, okay? Even though this connection is not going anywhere, it will not be victorious, okay? It's just, the connection is just stalled. It's, how can I say, it's basically going through the motions, but it's not moving anywhere victoriously at all, okay? And the thing is that this karmic does know that, but this karmic is not willing to to have their heart broken by a wounded ego. Okay. What else, Spirit? What else? What else can you tell me? So we have the world. So the world in the upright position is about conclusions, right? So again, this karmic is refusing to conclude this connection, all right? Even though it's not going anywhere, they're refusing to put a conclusion to it. Because, yeah, the world is in the upright position. So it's not, the world in the upright position is about, ending so new beginnings can happen. This karmic is not willing to, conclude anything because, this karmic does not want there to be a risk that, if it does, conclude, there could be a beginning elsewhere. So therefore, refusing to put a conclusion to the relationship. And look, temperance reverse. When temperance is in reversed, this is somebody who refuses to even accept healing from, the divine, from the angels. This person, this karmic is so superficial and so ego driven that they're even refusing to heal those characteristics. Okay. And temperance, is usually is my twin flame card. It's one of those, every reader, has certain cards that mean certain things to them. Okay. Every reader, sees certain cards for themselves that mean something. And temperance is my twin flame, card. All right. It's coming up in reverse. So this is telling me two things. Number one, the karmic is refusing, to find the balance, to find the healing, because they're so superficial and ego driven that they refuse to see, that it's even a problem. Okay. To see that, those characteristics are even a problem. Okay, they're refusing to even see it. So therefore, if they're refusing to see that, there's no way that they would, get any healing from it and any balance from it. But the other thing this is telling me is that, my twin flame angel, is not for this connection and not helping with this connection. In fact, my twin flame angel is keeping this connection stagnant. Okay, it's keeping the connection stagnant. What else, Spirit? What else can you tell me? And look at that. Even the universe is not helping, okay? Because in the upright position, this is the universe lending out a hand, okay? Lending out a hand in the physical world of gifts, okay? It's in the reverse position. So not only are the angels not really helping with this, but the universe is not helping with this because, again, when someone is operating on such negative characteristics, Okay, when they have these negative feelings within themselves, the universe, the angels, they're not going to help this situation. And that's why it is stagnant. So, the angels are not helping and the universe is not helping. And this is also indicating that this connection between this karmic and the divine counterpart will remain blocked. All right. It's going to remain, it's going to remain blocked, and it's not going to open up. All right. It's not going to open up for them. All right. All right, so we have the Three of Cups. It is in reversed, okay? So, wow, and it's right under the Three of Swords. So, clearly, the karmic partner knows that there is a third party out there, which is why, again, it's not about so much loving the divine counterpart. They're not worried about getting their heart broken from the divine counterpart out of love. They're worried about getting their heart broken out of ego, out of embarrassment, okay? So we do have the Three of Cups, which can indicate three people, but it's showing up in the reverse. So, you know, number one, the Three of Cups in general is about celebration. Okay, it's about being around your people and being happy and celebrating. Okay, it's in the reverse, so it's telling me that there's just no good times here between this karmic and this divine counterpart. There's no happiness. Again, there's just stagnation. Okay, there's blocks and obstacles. Okay, there's no getting along. No getting along happy. But this is also indicating to me that you know the karmic does know that there is a third person, with the Three of Swords and the Three of Cups. Yeah, I feel like this karmic knows that there is a third party, and because of it, that is the reason why this karmic refuses to take a loss. All right, they're not going to take a loss. They're not going to be embarrassed. It's like this karmic is refusing to be embarrassed and take a loss to, you know, the other twin. All right, it's kind of like I feel I'm hearing, I'm hearing I am not going to lose to this other person, okay, is what I'm hearing. So, um, you know, but there's no happy times between the divine counterpart and this karmic. There's no happy times, okay? No celebrating, no joy, nothing like that, okay? No moving forward in victory. What else, Spirit? What else? All right, so we do have, the Nine of Pentacles here. Um, So the Nine of Pentacles can mean a couple of things. It can mean that the karmic knows on some level that the divine counterpart wants to be single and happy. All right. And again, I feel like that's where, the embarrassment and this Three of Swords comes in, doesn't want to have their ego wounded, out of embarrassment. Okay. So I do feel like the karmic knows that, the divine counterpart does have, a third party, does have a twin. They may not understand the whole twin flame aspect of it, but they know that there's a third party. There is another woman. All right. And I feel like this card is coming out to say that, the karmic knows that the divine, counterpart, the karmic knows that the divine counterpart would, prefer to be single and happy, with someone else. Okay. So, anyways, guys, that's going to have to be it because it's going to cut off here in a second. But, I hope that gives you all a little bit of answers. And if anybody's interested in a personal reading, all the information is in the description box. And if you have questions, I have answers, and we'll talk to you soon. And I'm sorry to cut it off so quick. I didn't realize the time. So I'll see you again on the next one. Bye-bye.